What's up, nail geeks, and welcome to Polish Pickup April 2024. This month we have the theme video games. So naturally, I was super excited when this won the vote. And I would just like to thank everyone for voting on this theme. I think this is one of those few months where I'm going to have a couple of those polishes where I tell you that I'm not going to be, try to be unbiased. I'm going to flat out tell you need to buy it. There's a couple of those in this video. This month is stellar. The makers knocked it out. And that's not even me being biased towards the theme and all the beautiful nostalgia and memories associated with each of their inspirations. There's a lot of good stuff. And being completely honest, this is the second time we've done video games. The last time we did video games was a hot minute ago. I think that was the year that I was Blogger of the Month for the musicals theme that year. It was a long time ago. I don't remember. I think it was like 20. I don't know. It was a couple years ago. And I'm going to be completely honest. I wasn't that impressed with the video game theme then. So as excited as I was and like super pumped because we've got a lot of really good content that has made it to more mainstream pop culture the last couple of years, I was still a little weary on it and I wasn't sure what to expect. But I feel like this redo was necessary. It's awesome. It's such a good month and I'm stoked for it. We've got a couple extra brands tagging on to this video too. I am a little apprehensive because I'm trying to not have these videos get over an hour long. But so far, the last 6 months, I think my PPU videos have been about 45 minutes. So I promise you, I'm still trying to keep things short and sweet and straight to the point. That was the whole premise of what I wanted to build the foundation of my channel on. But then, of course, we've evolved. And then now I'm starting off with 10-minute intros. So I'm completely just being a bit of a hypocrite on my own regard. But anyways, it is what it is. So before we get to the swatches, we have a couple of housekeeping things to do. We have the giveaway for this month's video. If you're new here, you're new to the channel, what have you, Polish Pickup is a monthly collab featuring dozens and dozens of makers. Yes, there are way more than what I've got on the video. These are the makers that sent to me to help review and promote their polishes. There's a lot. Every month the theme is voted on by fans and theme suggestions are submitted to the main Facebook group. Every month there's a poll that opens up and the most popular contributions to the suggestions get put into the poll for 2 months ahead of time. That way the makers have an additional month to create their polishes and figure out their inspirations. That way they can put a little more thought into it. A couple years ago, it was 1 month and it was pure chaos. It was a chaos for the swatchers, chaos for the makers, but things are kind of fine-tuned now. So anyways, we have the themes. Some polishes are capped from some makers. That just boils down to the maker's time, their availability. Sometimes they have to pre-order pigments and all that good stuff, bottles. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. And sometimes things are capped. So the general vibe is if something is capped, which is what you'll see on the bottom of the screen for each of the polishes, that's how much bottles are available. Now, that said, on the Facebook group, the main page, during the sale week, yours truly does what's called a FOMO thread. I named it that, and I'm so creative, if you can't tell. And I go and I post congratulations to the makers that sell out because, hey, that's food on the table for a small business, and that's pretty badass. But sometimes the makers are able to procure more ingredients, bottles, whatever, and then I update the thread, talk about, somebody was able to up their cap, all that good stuff. And I do try my best. Some weekends I'm so busy though. I do try my best to get in there and tag individually if you're waiting on a restock. That's all in the Facebook group. So I have that linked in the description box if you haven't joined that. Anyway, so each of my Polish Pickup videos, I have a giveaway running. I have 10 $10 PPU codes to give away, and this month is no exception. I use a random comment picker. Literally, I think it's commentpicker.com is where I go to pull YouTube comments, and I'm going to have this giveaway. I am really hoping I can get this video up as early as what I'm recording for Fingers crossed. I think I'm waiting on like 2 more makers. I'm going to have this month's giveaway going until Tuesday, April 2nd at 4 p.m. Central Time. Sometimes I get a little bit caught up. It is my oldest's baseball is currently on right now. So if I get caught up on practice or something and I didn't get to do it before I headed out, I promise I will get it up maybe within an hour or 2. But I'm going to do my damnedest to have that up at the 4 p.m. Central on that Tuesday, April 2nd. All you have to do is leave a comment below. Tell me what's on your wish list. Say hi. Just anything. Keep it positive. Keep it upbeat. All that good stuff. This is a unicorn farting rainbows channel. So that brings me to the next segment. We have the shaming corner. I'm going to thoroughly shame those of you who did not email me from last month. I got a little excited because I was like, I think we're going to have all 10 email me. And then it just like, it was like bam, bam, bam emails. And then it kind of tapered off. So I have 4 of you who are going to be so very shamed. If you have not checked February or January for that matter, go back and check that too, because I do have some of you that I shamed that still haven't emailed me yet. So the current shaming right now, we've got Snoopy Coupon. We have Pretty Sunny Days, Emily Kinsler 9765, and we've got K Bell 0. If you're on this list, please email me. You are thoroughly shamed. You entered a giveaway and didn't come back to check if you were a winner. My email is thepolishedmage@hotmail.com and I will get you your code. Quick disclaimer before we get on to the swatches and the whole purpose of this entire video. If anyone is claiming to be me, sometimes they will steal my avatar picture, whatever, and they're going to tell you to telegram them, whatever. That's not me. That's scammers. I do realize that putting giveaway in the title of each video that I do have a giveaway for kind of opens that up. But I want to be able to let my subscribers know when I have a giveaway running on a video so you can enter. It is what it is. So I will never ask you for anything. I don't know what the hell a telegram is. I'm not going to ask you for money, for shipping anything, whatever. My whole shtick is if you win, I'm going to check you on my list for who you are. And then I'm going to give you your code. And all you got to do is just email me. That's it. So let's not get scammed. Those of you who are looking out in my comment section, I really appreciate you very, very much. When I see them too, I do report and remove it off the comment section. So keeping it clean. Poop vibes away. We're going to say bye-bye to the scammers and all those bad vibes. We're going to move on to video game swatches. I have quite a bit this month. So without further ado, let's check them out. And we're going to kick this server off with Baroness X. This is KO, described as a black jelly base with red to gold magnetic pigment, red and gold glass flakes, and blue reflective glitter. This one's going to be $12.50 with no cap and is inspired by Street Fighter, of course. We have a wonderful smooth jelly formula. This one's pretty buttery on application, so I think 2, maybe 3 coats is what you'll need to magnetize this one the best, but it builds up very easily. So honestly, for how I apply, which is typically on the thicker side, I thought 2 coats was just fine. This is beautiful unmagnetized, as you can see on my full hand shot there, and magnetized, it works really well with the Magic Magnetic Top Coat, and it also works really well if you wanted to magnetize each layer separately, but you know, that's not your girl's style. So going in with the ring magnet here, you can see all that magic starting to happen. I did finish with a thin layer of glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat, as this one does have just a touch of texture from the reflective glitters. This is really pretty, really in your face, and is definitely giving me some Tiger's Eye vibes. And BKL, Bee's Knees, brings us Queen of Rot. This is described as a dark chocolate Doomicorn sibling with that same green to blue shimmer. This one's inspired by Mileena from Elden Ring. Price is $14 and there is no cap. So in my opinion, this one is really going to play up with your lighting, not necessarily your skin tone. I would describe the base to this as being a warm, chocolatey type of brown that vamps out really well. I actually redid this one twice because I wasn't satisfied with how my swatches looked. I really wanted to get this one right, as on my full hand shot here, it is coming off just a touch warm, but it is warm. It builds up vampy, but please note, it is a warm, brown. I was very satisfied with how my photos came out on the second run here. So the 3 shots that you're seeing is what I'm seeing in person, which definitely matches up with my video. And Beaux Rêves brings us Contagious Fury. This is described as a bright orangey reddish base packed with large particle color shifting shimmer and gold reflective glitter. This one's also inspired by Elden Ring. Price is $12 and there is no cap. This is one of those neon colors that is going to give you a tan regardless of your skin tone. It's going to give you that beautiful bronzy appearance to your skin. I'm going to suggest 3 light coats or 2 normal coats with this. I didn't have too much texture, surprisingly, with the gold reflective glitters, but I would still suggest either a thicker glossy top coat or a glitter smoothing top coat. I'm always a fan of super plush top coat, so your preference there. Make this one super glossy. This is really tough. I knew my photos and my video were just going to blow up in terms of color accuracy. I feel like in person, this is a beautiful mix of red and orange. It's neon though, so a neon red orange is how I would describe it. Almost traffic cone vibes with a bit of more of a reddish undertone to it. And Cadillacquer, welcome to the channel. PS brings us the Killing Moon. This is described as a deep eggplant to orchid thermal packed with light blue iridescent flakes, inspired by Cyberpunk 2077. Price is $14 and there's a cap of $900. I do have Cyberpunk on my list of games that I need to play. Anyways, again, this is not a video gaming channel. Cadillacquer has a super smooth, buttery smooth. I mean, it was very satisfying with that paddle brush to build to opacity. I'm going to suggest 3 coats if you have a free edge, light coats that is, and a glossy top coat. I wanted to maximize those flakies. The cold state will be 100% opaque at the second coat, but again, these flakes are beautiful. They're so ghostly and ethereal looking. I wanted a ton of them on my nails. And the thermal properties were ridiculously reactive for me. And speaking of ridiculous reactive thermals, we've got Chamaeleon. She brings us Cortana, described as a black when cold to colorless when warm thermal, packed with blue iridescent flakes, black flakes, silver reflective glitters, and silver hollow glitters. This one's inspired by, of course, Halo. Price is $13.50 and there's a cap of 450 bottles. I feel like that one's going to go quick. This is really reactive. No issues here. You can see between that first and second coat, I had wonderful thermal action starting up. Now, the warm state is colorless. I do agree with that. However, because it's so packed full of flakes and all that good stuff, it does take on a grayed out appearance. So what you're seeing on my full hand shot there is what you'll see if you have a touch of a free edge. If you don't have a free edge and you're rocking those shorties, I think you'll still see a lot of thermal action, as this one and the Cadillacquer, honestly, all 3 thermals I worked on were very, very reactive. This will have a touch of texture and a flat dry down. So I would suggest a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat to plump it up and chef's kiss on these blue flakes once again. And Dom brings us No, Not Rainbow Road. Unless you're playing with me, I will beat you at it. Our official description is a black tinted jelly base with assorted hollow glitters and blue multichrome shimmer. This is inspired by, of course, Rainbow Road from Mario Kart. Your girl is not afraid of that level, PS. Price is $13.50 and the cap is 600 bottles. I feel like this inspiration, Mario Kart, just makes me aggressive. I know I'm not the only one. So we have a jelly formula. It is on the heavy side for formula. It's quite dense, so I'm going to suggest going in really light on those coats. Let it slowly build up, and oof, that sparkle is so damn good. Pun intended. You'll need a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat to finish this one off. It is stunning. It's vampy good, but that blue shimmer is so strong. It's just like what you saw on my full hand shot there. This is so incredibly sparkly. If you are a even slight bling lover, you're gonna need this one. And Danglefoot brings us I Got No Rings. This is described as a pastel gold to pink to green to blue shimmer base with a scattered hollow effect, inspired by, of course, our favorite blue hedgehog. Price is $13.50 and there's a cap of 250 bottles. We've got a lot of caps going on this month. The Danglefoot is so pretty. This is a beautiful, lush gold polish, and it does have an almost greenish sort of shift to it. You can kind of see it because I have a strong C curve on the edges of my nail. It goes to an almost earthy sort of tone Really, really pretty. This is what I would consider a true jewelry type of gold, not deep, dark, almost mustardy sort of gold. My full hand shot gives you a really good idea of this. Medium to deep skin tones, this is going to look fabulous on you. I would suggest, once again, a good glossy top coat, as this does dry down like a foil-like finish because of the shimmer, so very flat dry down, and you want to plump this one up. Dreamland Lacquer brings us Whimseydrake. This is described as a cerulean when warm to navy when cold thermal with blue to violet shimmer. This one's inspired by a new mount in World of Warcraft. Price is $13, and there is a cap of 400 bottles. Whimseydrake is so creamy, smooth, and buttery on application. Easy formula, easy buildup. I'm going to suggest 2 to 3 coats. I personally stopped at 2 normal for me coats, and I thought it was perfect. It self-levels really well. No need to worry about streaking with all the shimmer loaded up in here. And this is such a striking, vibrant blue combination. Even though they're in the same color family, both the cold and the warm states are very obvious. This will dry down incredibly matte, which is true to thermals in my experience. So you'll want to finish with a very glossy top coat, though it will look really cool matte too. But I always recommend wear a glossy top coat underneath your matte top coat for longevity. And DRK Nails brings us I'm a Rescuer. This is described as a magenta magnetic base with an ultra bright candy aurora red, orange, green shift. This one's inspired by the game Stray. Price is $13.70, and there's a cap of 500 bottles. Real talk, I could not finish that game Stray. It just made me very, very sad. And otherwise, it was very cute, and I loved the mechanics of it, and it was such a unique idea. So I'm a Rescuer is a magnetic polish. It is so incredibly shifty. I know Katya, our maker for DRK, does these so well. This is a large particle type of multi-chrome shift in how it looks. I think it looks so rad unmagnetized. Magnetized, it works really well with her magnetic top coat too, but I want to note that the pigment is quite heavy. So however you choose to magnetize it, if you wear it this way, make sure to add just a couple more seconds as the pigment is heavier to move. Personally, in my opinion, I think this is more of a subtle sort of magnetic. You're not going to see a super, striking sort of line, at least to me. I did not feel like it was the most in your face. Magnetizing it does give you a bit of depth though. It does dry down quite flat and thirsty because it's so packed full of that metallic pigment. You'll want to finish with a thicker glossy top coat. And Emily DeMolly brings us Mileena Wins. This is described as a red jelly base with blue aurora shimmer, gold glitters, and gold reflective glitters. This one's inspired by, of course, Mortal Kombat 2. Price is $13, and there is a cap of 320 bottles. So this is one of Haley's juicy jelly type formulas. She does these so well. It built really well to opacity for me on the second coat. You know the drill at this point. I like it thick, so I took it up to a third really thin coat, and that was the level of thickness, opacity, what have you, that I wanted. You will absolutely need a glitter smoothing top coat with this, as it has quite a bit of texture and thirstiness from the glitters. This is so beautiful and flattering. It's got that cool toned base, but a little bit of a warmth factor to it with the shimmer, and it's just very lovely. I think this is going to be flattering across skin tones. And Ethereal brings us Careful, I Bite, so do I. This is a clear base full of rainbow aurora that shifts green, aqua to pink, and purple, inspired by Asterion from Baldur's Gate 3. Price is $13, and there is no cap. Video games make me aggressive, I guess. I'm just feeling a certain way. The Ethereal is beautiful. This is stunning. It's got a curly formula. It's got that plump, squishy sort of feel. It's almost cream-like in how beautiful it spreads across the nail with the paddle brush. I'm going to suggest 3 coats. This is Ethereal, pun intended, beautiful goodness. It is just a little bit on the sheer side. On my full hand shot there, you could see through my free edge. So if that bothers you, I would suggest a color correcting base or a cream nude to you base color. But honestly, it's just so dreamy looking the way it is, in how the shimmer is what is giving you the opacity. And Femme Fatale brings us Scarlet Rot. This is described as a velvet purple jelly base with prominent copper gold green shifting shimmer. This one's inspired by the Lake of Rot from Elden Ring, of course. Price is $13, and there's a cap of 250 bottles. Now I want to really highlight with bells and whistles, that cap is low. especially for Femme Fatale. However, this is a hard cap, meaning there will not be an increase to the bottles because our maker Sophie is out on a trip. We wish her the very best and safe travels. Scarlet Rot is a true jelly formula. While the base is tinted, what's giving you your opacity is the shimmer. So you will see a touch of your visible nail line even going up to 3 coats. So you know the disclaimer for that for the visible nail line at this point. But personally, I think this is one of the more softer, just the shimmer is what's going to catch your eye the most. I think 3 coats is perfect and a good glossy top coat. And welcome to the channel, Great Lakes Lacquer. We are happy to have you here. She brings us Hand Hugs from Hell, described as a deep, dark burgundy lit from within with a purple to blue to red and orange shifting shimmer. This one's inspired by Gloom Hands from Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Those things are awful. It scared the hell out of me, PS. This one's going to be 14 with no cap at the moment. If the number of bottles sold goes really high, I'm going to go out on a whim and say that there may be a cap. So just throw that out there. This has a wonderful, super smooth, opaque feel on application. Just a delight on the nail. It's gorgeous. This is a velvety type of multi-chrome. It easily shifts from an eggplant to over a pinky to a bit of a bluish sort of shade. I absolutely saw orange at the most extreme angles. I tried to capture it on my macro shot, but I just did not do that orange shift justice. It is subtle. But again, you will see it, say, if you have your nails perfectly flat in front of your face, if that makes sense. Hearts and Promises brings us Royal Pain in the Butt. This is described as a purple base with gold shimmer. This one's inspired by Royal Match, price is 13, and there's a cap of 200 bottles. The shimmer to this is that wonderful gilded look. If you are a fan of her velvet polishes that released for, if memory serves me right, Black Friday, I do have a video of those. If you're a fan of those, I think you'll be a fan of this one. It's very glowy with this interesting metallic looking golden shimmer and the little tiny gold microflakes in the back. You can kind of see it on that last coat there. I had no texture from them, even though they are on a thicker sort of feel and how it laid down on the nail, but I would still suggest a good thicker glossy top coat because it did dry down quite flat for me and you want to exploit that gold looking shimmer. I'm going to suggest 3 coats for opacity on this one too, and it does have a jelly feel on application. And Jen & Berries brings us Valley Girl. This is described as a very sheer tinted jelly base in a pale pinky purple, loaded with intense bright pink, orange, gold, green shimmer and a subtle amount of violet microflakes. This one's inspired by the winter scene in Stardew Valley. Price is $13.75 and there's a cap of 500 bottles. This is beautiful, and if you were a fan of her shimmer from last month, where what built to opacity was the shimmer itself, that was the center stage attraction going on there. This is very similar to that. The shimmer is wonderfully, delightfully strong, super pretty. It does have a bit of a visible nail line if you have a very prominent free edge, but it's soft, and that's what this type of glowy look is for. So I would make my standard base coat disclaimer if that bothers you. I'm going to suggest 3 super smooth coats and a good glossy top coat. KBShimmer brings us What a Peach. This is a pink bubblegum base with an iridescent microflake finish shifting yellow and gold. This one's inspired by, of course, our favorite princess. Price is 12 and there is no cap. Now this is straight foily goodness. The shimmer here is a larger particle type feel, so it's going to give you that y'all really appreciated it on my last video, a mermaid's bra sort of appearance. It's real glistening looking, just very pretty. It has a very squishy feel to the formula, so I would strongly suggest going thin on your coats, slowly build it up with 3 thin coats. You could go up to 2 normal coats, but you want the most flaky payoff on your nails, right? It will dry down on the flat side, so you'll want to finish with a good glossy top coat. And Krisable Designs is back with Kevin for King. This is described as a blue jelly base with purple to blue to aqua iridescent flakes, red to copper multichrome flakes, and gold and silver reflective glitters. This one's inspired by Kevin from the game Overcooked. Price is $12.50 and there's a cap of 300. This is gorgeous and it gives you this super like turbo pond effect in between your layers. And for that reason, again, y'all know the drill at this point. I'm going to suggest a thin buildup of 3 coats. Let it slowly get there and you'll have an almost patina-like look. It is very pretty. You will need a glitter smoothing top coat with this and underneath your glossy top coat because we'll have some texture from the reflective glitters and the multitude of flakes there. This is very, very pretty. I have a feeling this one's going to go pretty quick too with that cap. And Lemming brings us Butt Stallion. This is described as an indigo jelly base with delicate shimmer shifting purple to pink and flakes shifting in oranges, golds, pinks, and greens, and a scattering of hollow micro sparks. Price and cap is to be announced. Now, the base to this is very interesting. I know the official description stated an indigo base, but I do feel like this has a strong blurple lean in the overall look of it. It's a very curly-like formula. It has a bit of a heaviness because the flakes are so super chunky. So I would suggest three light and a good glossy top coat on the thicker variety. I know my photos and my video are both pulling pretty blue, at least on my screen. So please note in person, this is definitely more indigo leaning, but it does have a blurple lean at specific lighting situations. And Monarch Lacquer brings us our princesses in another castle. This is described as a strong multichrome with a medium purple base and fiery red shift. This one's inspired by, of course, Mario. Price is $13 and there is no cap. Okay, so this is a really interesting polish. The base color itself, I almost want to say it's clear. Like I want to say that what is building to opacity here is the multichrome pigment. This is really, really shifty in person. It has an easy violet. You can see it on the center of my nail there. And then it's got this wonderful burgundy and a strong fiery copper at angles. Easy to see. You'll see it in a moment on my macro shot, and my full hand shot gives you a really good idea of the overall just multichrome-ness of it. Now, because in my opinion, there is no base color to this, please note it is a softer type of multichrome, meaning if you layered it over something, it's going to look really cool. And Night Owl Lacquer brings us Light Dragon. This is a bright cyan base filled with glowy copper gold green shifting iridescent shimmer, inspired by a Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Price is $13 and there's a cap of 400 bottles. This is so pretty and it is impeccably spot on for the inspiration. If you've played Tears of the Kingdom, you know what I'm talking about. This is fantastic. I'm going to suggest 3 coats and a glossy top coat to plump it up. It is on the slightly softer side, but I do classify this one as having a true opacity to it. Now, I know the official description did say a bright cyan. Please note that that is what the maker's raw ingredients are. And when you put special effects like shimmers into specific bases, it will alter what we see in the final product. So in my opinion, what you see on my video and my swatches is what I'm seeing in person. It almost takes on an aqua-ish sort of almost jade-like green. And Painted Polish brings us Feelin Peachy. This is a medium pink curly base with blue metallic flakes. Price and cap are to be announced. Welcome back, Painted Polish, to the channel. This is a wonderfully creamy, smooth curly. If you're new around these parts of the indie nail land, Painted Polish makes wonderful, ultra creamy, smooth formulas, and this one's no exception. I'm going to suggest 2 coats and a glossy top coat of the slightly thicker variety, as those metallic flakes do have just the slightest bit of texture to them. And it will look so fantastically gel-like. This is a very flattering type pink, and I think it's going to look beautiful on any skin tone. Pampered Polishes brings us Mako. Speaking of the game that I'm currently playing, this is described as a scattered hollow with green shimmer and silver micro glitter. This one is inspired by, of course, Mako from Final Fantasy VII. This is 13 with no cap. All right, so we have what I would consider a minty sort of green. It's almost a live stream type of green, if you will, if you get that reference. This has a strong curly formula to it. I'm going to suggest 2 coats and a glossy top coat, as it had a very quick, creamy, smooth buildup for me. I really appreciate the little flakes here. They give this almost soft, very tiny, reflective looking appearance. You can kind of get an idea of that on my macro shot there. Psyche Minerals has Naydra. This is described as a green jelly base with green reflective glitter and blue-green violet aurora shimmer. This one's inspired by, of course, Naydra from Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda, and the price is $13 with a cap of 250 bottles. Ooh, I so love Molly's reflective glitter finishes. They are not skimping for pigment or glitter at all. So if you love glitter bombs like me, this is another one you'll want to add to your arsenal. I'm going to suggest 2 normal or 3 very light coats. I was hesitant to go in with that third coat, so as you can see, I went in incredibly thin. I personally liked it. I preferred it like this, but I could have completely stopped at that second coat. I did use a heavy layer of glitter smoother underneath my glossy top coat to smooth the texture and thirstiness out. This is such a flattering color. I can see this looking beautiful on medium and deep skin tones across the board. Just a wonderful mermaidy sort of feel for summer coming up. Rogue Lacquer has Dreamlight. This is a rich purple jelly base with purple to pink glass and micro glass flakes with a glowy purple sparkle shimmer, inspired by Dreamlight Valley from The Forgotten. Price is $13.50 with no cap. So this is another interesting one in terms of blurply color. This is very jewel toned in my opinion, and it is truly a rich purple. I totally agree with that official description. Now it has a jelly-like formula. It's on the softer side, and this is one of those polishes that you're gonna see a lot of depth with a pond effect. So go in thin, and trust me on this, even if you're trying to fight me on that third coat, you'll want to do it on this because you want more flaky payoff. You will need a thicker glossy top coat as this dries down pretty harsh and flirting almost with a matte type of dry down. It's very intense and again, just jewel toned. It's very, very pretty and the flakes give you a bit of a pink spark. You can kind of see it on my swatches. Sassy Sauce has There's a Glitz in the Matrix. This is described as a purple when cold to blue when warm thermal with a glowy red to purple shimmer. This one's inspired by a picture from an old Star Wars Galaxy game. Price is $13 and there's a cap of 500 bottles. So as I previously stated, all 3 thermals that I worked on this month were excellent on thermal reactivity, coverage, all that good stuff. And this one's no exception. So I'm going to suggest 2, possibly 3 coats. I took it up to 3 coats to plump it up on myself, though honestly, if you go in with a heavier hand, the formula is very forgiving. You could probably get away with 2 coats on this. The cold and warm states are very obvious, as you can see on my ice water shot here. This is super fun, and the shimmer pops ridiculously well in both the warm and the cold states. It dries down semi-gloss, which is pretty interesting for a thermal, as those usually tend to dry down on the flat side, but I think any top coat's gonna be perfect for this. Sweetheart Polish has Jump for Joy. This is a pale yellow with blue to purple shimmer. This one's inspired by Joy from the Disney Infinity video game. Price is $12 and there's a cap of 250 bottles. This one's really lovely and it's what I would consider a delicate type of shimmer. It's soft and it's not super in your face, but you can tell in person there is a very light type of blue tinge from that shimmer. It is more of a metallic type of particle effect, so almost like a reflective type of spark to it. My full hand shot gives you the best representation of that shimmer in my opinion. I'm going to suggest 3 coats and a glossy top coat. This does have a squish feel to it, so I would suggest going in lighter on your coats just to prevent any sort of over buildup. This is a very flattering yellow color. It's sunshine yellow. I don't see any undertones to it. And Wildflower brings us its on like Donkey Kong. Described as a tan-leaning taupe base with strong blue to aqua to indigo shifting shimmer, inspired by, of course, Donkey Kong Country. Price is $13.50 and there is no cap. This is a delicate type of feel on how it applies. However, it really packs a punch for being a neutral in terms of opacity. I'm going to suggest 3 coats and it has a softer type of appearance, but it's quite covering, if that makes sense. I think you'll want to go in on the lighter side on your brush strokes just to prevent any sort of potential streaking. Just let it apply and maximize the use of that paddle brush, and I think you'll be fine in terms of streaking. Finish with a glossy top coat and you're good to go. This is such an icy color. It's very pretty, and despite being a taupe base, I think if you have medium skin tone like myself, it's going to look gorgeous on you too. And last but not least, we've got Zombie Claw Polish. This is Psychedelic Zombie, described as an electric green-blue shimmer base with an assortment of green to blue glitters and purple stars. This one's inspired by Mariska from Lollipop Chainsaw Game. Price is $13.50 and there's a cap of 200 bottles. This one's really interesting, and I want to bells and whistles caution. It has a very, very squishy formula to it. So go in light-handed. Stop at 2 coats, as this is what I would consider more of a almost topper-like finish. I would suggest stopping at the 2nd coat, otherwise you'll have over buildup. I did need to do careful placement and some fishing for the stars, but I had no issues getting them to come out of the bottle and onto the brush. If you want that full coverage star look, that what you see on my nails here, on my swatches, then yes, you will need to do careful placement, as they are on the heavier side. And we're going to level up with the Will It Topper segment. This is where I use a black swatch stick to demonstrate if polishes have layering capabilities. So we have such a variety of finishes. Baroness X works as a topper over black. I think you might get some cool effects with it, maybe even over browns or other neutral colors too. BKL, it's a Doomicorn sibling, so no surprise here. I knew this was going to work. You will see a bit of that chocolatey base tint though. Beaux Rêves, yes, theoretically, it passes the test, but it's so beautifully neon, I personally wouldn't topper it. Cadillacquer works over lighter colors to see the thermal effect, but this is another one that is just so deliciously perfect on its own. I don't really see a need to topper this one or try to layer it. Chamaeleon, same thing as the Cadillacquer, and spoiler alert, same thing for the Sassy. All 3 thermals in my swatch video, they're just perfect by themselves, and I wouldn't recommend layering. Dom works really well over black, especially if you wanted to conserve your bottle and layer it. I think this would also look beautiful over blue too. Danglefoot, because it's got that foily looking effect, of course, it is just stunning over black, and I think you can get a good idea of how much shimmer she packed in there. DRK is very yummy over black. I think it almost looks like its own topper polish like this, but again, just remember, in my opinion, the magnetic effect is subtle. Emily Damali is just lush with that blue shimmer. It looks stunning even with the magenta-ish sort of tint. Ethereal is like the Danglefoot in how strong the shimmer effect is. This is a finer particle, so it looks stunning. Femme Fatale works too. We've got that fiery type of shimmer going on here, and the base is so lightly tinted that I think you could really play up against it with any color. Great Lakes has that delicious ultra smooth formula, and I wasn't expecting it to work, but it did. Hearts and Promises will give you that gilded effect I was talking about in the swatch portion of the video, so it does work. You just want to be careful with the color you choose underneath it because it's very tinted. Jen and Berries is ridiculous over black. You can see how much shimmer she packed into the formula. KBShimmer, that foil effect always will be stunning over black. This almost looks like its own flaky topper like this. Krisable works. Personally, this is another one that is so stunning on its own. I wouldn't want to layer this one over anything else because it takes away that patina effect. Lemming will give you a wonderful confetti popper look. I think this one looked really cool in person too. I think darker colors will be your friend. Monarch is such a chameleon because, again, just my personal thoughts, I don't really see a tint to this. It's just straight multichrome pigment. Night Owl is gorgeous over black. It's something else. I really like this shimmer here. Painted Polish is too much of a crelly. It's too creamy. I don't think you're doing it justice if you layer it. I feel like it's an undie over an undie. Why would you wear 2 pairs of undies? Pampered Polishes, same thing. You have, in my opinion, 2 pairs of underwear here, and it's just too much. Your jeans, you're going to see it through it. Psyche Minerals passes the test with flying colors, and this is gorgeous. So much sparkly goodness happening here. I think you could do it over black, gray, and mermaid colors. Rogue looks like its own super ultra vampy polish. I don't know why I'm thinking of Disney's Hades by the way it looks. And then, as I previously mentioned on the thermals, Sassy passes the test, just like the other two, but it's so pretty and wonderful on its own. I would not layer this one. I wouldn't topper it. I wouldn't topper it because I feel like you're not doing it justice. Sweetheart polish works, and I was very surprised because of how the shimmer looks. If you choose to layer this one, I would just caution that the yellow tint is quite strong. Wildflower, this is beautiful over black. I think you could do a lot with this one, especially given that it's a taupe base. Zombie Claw, this is what I'm talking about. I think it looks like a topper by itself. So personally, you can pretty much go ham over undies. So the last item I have to show you all is a non-polish. If you've been watching the last couple of months, you know what's coming up. I have KBShimmer's Sugar Scrub to review. And if you have not tried sugar scrubs, they're pretty damn fantastic. Nice little pampering for you. This month we have the scent Citrus Explosion. So citrus scent lovers, this one's for you. You can see it in there. It's all pretty and colorful. At the forefront, I'm straight up getting a grapefruit sort of scent, but that's not the initial only thing. I mean, there's lots of oranges, there's a little bit of lemon even, but it's so citrus. It's not candy citrus, it's straight citrus. I almost feel like I need to like squint my eyes a little bit because it's like someone's literally just like squeezing a grapefruit or an orange in your face. It's powerful. It's really in your face. It's so freaking good. It's clean. It's almost a kitchen type of citrusy scent. It's nice. It's so good. This is so springy. I love it. If you have never used a sugar scrub before, at least KBShimmer Sugar Scrub. I don't know if you can see that there on the bottom, but KBShimmer's Sugar Scrubs, how many times can I say that? They're very, very oily. They're very oil-based, and that's a good thing. You want that when you're using a sugar scrub. You can use it for like a 30-second mani sort of experience where you can add it to your routine. Sometimes I like to do that because I have such really bad dry skin. It's so awful. And sometimes I'll just refresh my skin a little bit before getting the swatches to kind of prep up my skin, so to speak. Or my favorite way to use KBShimmer scrubs, I've got them all in my bathroom, is to shave if that's your jam. Otherwise, just use it in the shower at the end. If you're a lotion junkie like myself, I don't lotion after I use the sugar scrub in the shower because it leaves me perfectly like that suppley sort of oily feel on your skin, and I use it everywhere. So just gonna throw that out there. Your backside can also be super soft and polished, if you will. They're fantastic. Now that I will say, I did have someone ask me, I think a few polish pickup videos ago, that when you use it in the shower, does it leave your tub oily? Yes, it does. If you're aggressive with it, like me, you're going to have some sugar scrub residue stuff in your tub. Make sure to rinse it really well down the drain. So I just want to make that little disclaimer there, because it can get a little slippery using it in the shower. That's a really good point. But otherwise, yeah, you can use it on your feet for pedicures, your whole body, or your hands for a quick mani. So just wanted to throw that out there. Gosh, this month is so good. It's so clean. It's very yummy. So clean citrus lovers, this one is for you. So before I set you all loose, and entering the giveaway, leaving a comment, all that good stuff, blah, 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 we are going to talk about my wish list. I know some of you request this, and this is probably the part where I lose half of you. I'm just going to say the disclaimer in general. This month has a lot of nostalgia for me. There's a lot of really good themes. It's funny because when I play a video game, I could tell you what was going on in my life at that time. I feel like book readers might also have that experience too. There's a lot of really good books I've read, and I could tell you what was going on. And I don't know, it's like scent or music. So yeah, it's really cool. So we're going to go over my wish list. I am currently in the Facebook group right now. If you want to follow along with me, I'm looking at the Maker Spoilers post because it's before wish listing, and I'm really, really hoping I can get this video up as early as what I'm aiming for. The first one that caught my eye, this one caught my eye, I think like the first 3 that I saw that I was like, damn it, I need that, is Vanessa Mileena. We have been seeing her release some massive flaky bombs and these really interesting color combos. But this month we've got a magnetic from her, and it's gorgeous. It's stunning. I really like the contrast between the magnetic pigment and the backdrop, and it looks like there's a little bit of shimmer action happening there too. The inspiration for this is Castlevania. So the anime specifically, I think, but Castlevania is a game series. So, but if you haven't seen the Netflix show, it's awesome. Anyways, the polish itself is fantastic. Penelope Luce is doing Final Fantasy. And this one is a beautiful shimmery looking polish. The shimmer looks incredibly strong in it, and I'm here for that. But it is Final Fantasy based, and I'm currently playing Final Fantasy Rebirth. If you're curious, nighttime I don't get to do a whole lot of swatching anymore because my husband's back in school, and you got to get that degree. And so he's usually using the computer at nighttime. So that, I mean, oh, woe is me. I don't have to work on nail polish stuff at that point, editing and what have you. I'm typically playing a video game and getting some mommy time in. And oh man, Rebirth has been so good. Anyways, Fancy Gloss is just stunning. Oh my gosh, this is a really like blurply, shimmery, heavy month. As you saw from what I had, there was a lot of really good shimmers this month. Fancy Gloss, the thermal looks fantastic. I've always had really good luck with Fancy Gloss thermals. I have a thermal I got from her PPU a couple of years ago. It still transitions. Her stuff is really good. Her thermals are really awesome if taken care of correctly. Always put your thermals in a cool, dry place. No light too. It's inspired by Rayman. I have a lot of beautiful, really funny memories playing Rayman growing up with my brother, and just really precious memories. Alchemy Lacquers did my favorite game of all time. My favorite series, I should say, of all time. She's got a Mass Effect polish. I'm a big Mass Effect junkie. One of these days, I want my background to be not just my Swish collection. If you haven't noticed, I kind of geek out and rotate them for you all. And I try to match my eyeshadow if anyone's caught on to that. I was going to put a blue one on, or a blue one up, I should say, to match my eyeshadow. It's blue and silver. I know the light, you probably can't see it. But I was going to do that and keep going, but I just ran out of time. But anyways, I want to get my video game stuff up, because if you saw my Mass Effect collection for memorabilia, I've got cereal bowls. I've got a huge portrait. I mean, it's huge. It takes up like probably the whole background if I put it up on the wall. Since we moved in the new unit, I haven't been able to put it up yet, but I've got that. I've got figurines. I've got so much Mass Effect crap. So 100,000% I'll be getting to Alchemy this month. It's funny because I'm going through this list and I'm seeing a lot of polishes that I swatched this month, and I'm like eyeballing them all over again, which is really good because, man, this month has been just so good. Danny Viana has she's describing it as an ultramarine blue. Every time I see that, I know it's a specific pigment of blue that went into the polish, and I always fall in love with that color. And this is a fantastic flaky balm. So it's inspired by Lemmings, and it's very pretty. I really like this one. Lynn B has a beautiful purple with a red shimmer in it. And I always say on these videos that purple with red shimmer, I don't care how many of this specific look that I have, I always gravitate towards them. I know I'm not alone. And the inspiration for this one was, she calls it one of woohoo, because it's inspired after Sims 4. I'm so stoked. I heard we're going to get another Sims, a Sims 5, I guess. I haven't looked into it anymore, but I heard that, and I'm hoping they get more feedback from the fans, because I'm a big Sims player too, at least back in the day. Sims 4 wasn't really my jam. I think Sims 3 had all the perfect touches to it, but I'm hoping they listen to us. We'll see. It's EA games, but we'll see. Look at me. I'm sounding like a video game YouTuber. That's funny. Cupcake Polish brings us Paper Mario, the Origami King as her inspiration. Confetti Cannon. I played this game. I played the hell out of Paper Marios in general. They're such charming, fun games, especially if you have littles. It's really cool. It's a nice family fun game. But the Origami King, I think I finished that 2 years ago. It's really charming, and this matches up with that inspiration so much. And I do love me a rainbow type of Crelly. So the cupcake is 1000% skipping my wish list and going straight to my cart. Pinnacle Polish is another one that really interested me. It looks very clean, speaking of clean finishes, and it looks like it's going to be a very, just from what I'm seeing here, it looks like it's going to have a really good cream Crelly-like formula to it. Really digging it. It's inspired by Asterion from Baldur's Gate, which is also the theme for the Ethereal that I swatched. Baldur's Gate 3 is 100% on my list to play. I've got such a huge list going on right now. Of course, Final Fantasy took over, and that went up, you know, as somebody who played the OG series, OG game, I should say. Now it's a series. It used to be, it was 3 discs before, but anyways, this is not a gaming channel. But I do have Baldur's Gate 3 on my list, and I'm thinking when I play it, I'm going to probably want all these Baldur's Gate polishes. So maybe I'm just jumping ahead of myself and getting myself prepared to have fandom, just fandom need there. I wanted to highlight the Off the Hook creations this month again. She's so talented. She's got a crocheted axolotl toy inspired by the new axolotl addition to Minecraft. It's really cute. Watches Pass Me the Joystick is stunning. I think this is another one that's going to skip the wish list and immediately go into my cart. It's gorgeous, and I do love a light colored finish of some type, and it's got a really strong shimmer. Inspiration is so adorable. It's her baby on her lap while she's playing video games. I can so relate hard to that with both of the boys. I was always nursing them, and then I played a video game of some sort, and lots of really cool memories there. I'm going to crop out the inspiration picture because it has her baby on it. It's not my photo to share, but if you wanted to see the actual inspo, it's really cute. They both got on a light colored shirt, and he's got a light colored, looks like a onesie on, and then the green glow from the PlayStation is in the picture too. So really, really cute inspiration. Inspired Scents has a cuticle salve. I ordered the cuticle salve from last month that had the really weird lavender sort of scent to it. It hasn't come to me yet. At the time I'm recording this, it's on its way. I'm super stoked to try out her balm. But she's got a balm inspired by Fruit Ninja. Who doesn't love that game? And it sounds like it's a fruity scent, just balm, if you will, in this. So this looks really interesting to me. Lumen has a beautiful one here. This one is Aurora Beam Pokemon. I've got a couple of Pokemon squishes. Maybe next month I'll put them in my background there. But this one looks really pretty. It is a blue sheer shimmer, and I really like it. So I'm going to see some more swatches of that, and I'm going to decide, but I really think I'll be grabbing this one. I do like that it looks like, just from what I'm seeing, like it's got a lot of versatility in if you can layer with it and use it as a topper, wear it by itself, whatever. It looks really cool. The Garden Path lacquers this month is blue. I'm a big fan of Garden Path lacquers, and when she does blue, she does it really, really good. So I really like this one. I want to see some more swatches because the spoiler pick is, it's on a swatch stick, but I think it's going to be truly lovely. I know when I put this on the screen, I realize I'm increasing competition to purchase this, and maybe I don't want to do that, but it's so cute. And the couple that makes Man-Made by JNS, the two powerhouses, I've met them in person, and they are so freaking sweet. They do deserve some hype, and I will 1,000,000% be purchasing this. They are having they made a crossbody sling that has she said it can double as a fanny pack too, but it has the print of Link from Legend of Zelda on it. It is so cute. So cute. It's adorable. There's only 50, and this incredible thing is $20. Like, that is so I don't want to say cheap because, you know, that the connotation that comes with, but that's such a low price for something that was handmade and looks like this and has that fabric. It's adorable. So I will be fighting to get my hands on one. Color Spectrum also has one that caught my eye. I keep seeing this Dreamlight Valleys game. I don't know what it is, and I'm gonna have to look into it because it seems like it's got a fan favorite sort of thing, especially with the themes going on here. But this looks lovely. It's beautiful. It looks very strong, shimmery, almost kitchen sink, not quite. But there's some other flaky looking things happening here, but it looks very, very pretty just from the spoiler here. And as of now, that is what is on the maker spoilers thread that we have so far. There are going to be other items there. I do want to make a blanket statement that when the shop opens up for wish listing, you might not see some of the brands on there. That's okay. If you've seen them either be swatched or something like that, more than likely the maker has not pulled out or anything. It's just that we have not received their information at headquarters. Therefore, it's not on the website yet. Worst case scenario, it will pop up the day of sale opening. So don't forget to leave a comment below and to be entered in to be one of 10 winners to win a $10 PPU gift code to the shop. Just leave me a comment. Tell me, I want to hear some video game stories. Let me know in the comments section below. I feel like I kind of generated a really niche sort of piece of the internet here on YouTube with being the polished mage. That comes with me being a huge gamer, and I never thought that I'd actually be like, I guess like an official swatcher sense. So it's such a nerdy name, and whatever, it's me, and it describes me to a T. So I want to hear how many of you are gamers. So chat with me about that. I want to know, do you know what the inspirations mean? All that good stuff. I will have all of the information possible in the description box below for links and all that good stuff and the timestamps. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.